Now, there's no doubt about it that by far, a lot of Star Wars fans out there have really been looking forward to shows like Mando Season 3 and the Ahsoka Tano series, since it really does set everything up by John, George, and Dave and what they have planned for the future of the Star Wars franchise throughout this entire year and next year just for starters. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And that brings us to Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland. Now, we already know that they've been having a lot of setbacks behind the scenes for the Acolyte, and of course, really trying to find an avenue to getting this thing out on time. So far, Disney had to delay the series more than 3 times at this point, and they're facing even more problems since there's a lot of parts on constraint to be used for some of the sets to be built through some of the rewrites and reshoots, etc. And that brings us to exactly what Kathleen Kennedy is dealing with as of right now. So basically, there's been a lot of changes being made to the plot of the Acolyte. We already know that the budget is getting set back again, and it's going to be more smaller scale. Less, of course, whatever have you, quality driven. And it really is going to be more of an indie driven project. It's going to have that indie film style to it all. Now, with that being said, that brings us to, of course, one of the most recent additions to the storyline of the Acolyte that actually reverts to one of the original ideas before they even began filming, when they were working on the script and trying to figure things out with the story. So let's tap right into that. Now, with that being said and all, we know that Leslye Headland is not a Star Wars fan. She never was, she never will be. She openly said that she never really got the prequel trilogy, never really understood it all, and is not really a Star Wars fan at heart, but this is basically an opportunity for her to do something different. Now, with that being said, with the Acolyte series going through major changes and problems that are causing numerous setbacks for Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy is currently trying to speed up production as fast as possible to get the series back on track. Now, further, it's noted that currently one of their most recent additions to the plot of the series is set to break some of the existing canon that was created by George Lucas. Both Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland are described to be the turning, of course, of the actual page of the script for a scene that will actually be reshot later this month that is set to focus on a true chosen one that is set to replace the prophecy of Anakin Skywalker. Further, it's noted that they are actually focusing on creating canon material that multiple chosen ones existed in the Star Wars franchise, using the Acolyte, which is set during the High Republic era, and Kathleen Kennedy is set on a mission to replace the prophecy of Anakin Skywalker with this new chosen one character that is said to be a Sith hero that is a protagonist. So let me stop right here for 1 second. Now, I'm fully aware that the prophecy of Anakin is non-existent during the High Republic as far as we know. But what Kathleen Kennedy is trying to set up is that this character is the true chosen one that was set out to destroy the Sith once and for all as a Sith character, as a Sith hero, or a Sith good guy, whatever you want to call it. It just sounds a little ridiculous to me and very strange. I get it if you want maybe a Sith character that's a little bit more rebellious against the traditional Sith ways, but to have a Sith character that acts like a Jedi is just a little strange to me and a little odd. Actually, very strange. Now, when you look at this, of how they are creating the chosen one of the High Republic's time, and how this is going to be stamped in history as the true chosen one that was supposed to be, instead of Anakin Skywalker, John and Dave are having a lot of problems with this. In fact, this is exactly what John and Dave were trying to prevent from happening in the Acolyte series. It's why they were actually involved in fixing a couple of scenes in the first place for the show. Now, moving on to the next big thing here is this. We know that Leslye Headland is trying to do all these reshoots and rewrites as fast as possible to getting the series to arrive by spring of 24 now. And that's with all the delays, mind you. So with that being said and all, there's a lot of, things happening with the show, a lot of problems, a lot of issues arising, and it's only a matter of time before more delays come out of the show if Kathleen Kennedy can't get a grip on how to really direct the series in a specific, path. Now, with that being said, too, we already know that The Acolyte, now that budgets are being pretty much held back, it's going to be a small-scale series. A couple of episodes were shaved off, and even some special effects are going to be replacing some of the physical sets. It's not going to be as quality-driven. Now, further, alright, making a Sith character a good guy is Kathleen Kennedy's idea. The character's name is dubbed Zulu, and the actual official name of the character is said to still be undecided until they finish filming. Now, Zulu's design is said to be an Asian male with long black hair and red Sith armor that is very samurai-esque in design. The Sith hero and/or good guy is said to be the new chosen one of the High Republic generation, and considered to be the true chosen one to change the views of who the Sith really are. Now, John and Dave are already in the process of finding a way to undo all of this and all these Kathleen Kennedy retcons and changes in an upcoming show of theirs called Circle of the Wills, a new anthology show, many of the episodes of which will take place before Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Alright, so put this into perspective. We have Kathleen Kennedy going, full retcon style with the show. It's going to be quite worrisome to the community without a doubt. And she basically is overlooking the ramifications, right? The backlash that could very well come out of this by the fans. In fact, you might get a similar backlash compared to The Last Jedi if this truly changes how we view the Sith and how we're gonna view this specific Sith-oriented character as a good guy or as a hero, whatever you want to call it. And I'm really not quite sure how they're going to be able to create a balance with that. I mean, I'm really, trying to figure out exactly what Kathleen Kennedy's motive here is. It's almost like she's trying to create less bad guys or villains in the Star Wars franchise and making everybody good is what it seems. I mean, when you look at Boba Fett, we always viewed him as this, villainous bounty hunter, and we saw how they kind of changed that a little bit in the Book of Boba Fett, and he was very much less harsh. I'm not saying that Tamora Morrison's character and his iteration of the character was terrible, but he was way too soft in the series, in my opinion. He could have been the classic epic bounty hunter that we all know and love from the comics and the books and stuff like that. So anyways, with that being said, guys, I'm very much intrigued to hear what you all have to say about the Acolyte, problems arising and how she's creating all of these differences with the Chosen One prophecy, how we view the Sith, etc., etc. So drop a comment below, fill me in on what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.